Hey, welcome to Greenlight. So today we're talking about some Blu-ray releases that have come out. A couple big movies actually. Harriet, Terminator, Dark Fate is out as well, and then we have Parasite, which is a big indie film that had come out recently. Got big like Rotten Tomato reviews and stuff like that. So we're gonna get started with that right away. Okay, let's. I've changed a couple things around, so let's get this started. All right, so actually, let's clean this up over here. Let's move this over. All right, so I've changed a couple things. Added a tripod to my microphone, so my hands are free and I could do more for the show. So I'm very excited this week. One of my new favorite movies right now is Terminator Dark Fate. I'm a big Terminator fan, so they don't much bother me, even though like some of the storylines had escaped from the original two films done by James Cameron. But since James Cameron came back for this one, it was such a big deal. And then having Linda Campbell, Linda come back, for Sarah Connor. That's a huge deal. That's a big deal in the Terminator franchise because you're able to tie up some of the story elements in there. So I've heard some things, negative things that James Cameron had to say about the film. In general, there were some things that him and Tim Miller didn't agree on. But for me, from what I got from the film, and it seems like a lot of people feel this way too, especially audience members on like Rotten Tomatoes. They're a little bit different than the like the reviews that have come out for the film. I think it got a 70%, and there's like an 85% for the audiences. So a lot of people agree on this is a much better film than the sequels that had come out after Judgment Day. So big fan. I mean, since I was a little kid, my first experience with Terminator was T2, the ride on Universal Studios Orlando. So I'm excited about this film in many different ways because I grew up with it. As a filmmaker in Los Angeles, I indulged myself in the special edition DVD version of the first film, which had a great making of. One of the making ofs that I wanted to do on here. But let me know in the comments below if you want to check that out and actually have me do a video about that, about the making of the first Terminator, because that's a big deal that changed a lot in the mentality of filmmakers in the late 80s, I believe it was. So, the whole being able to do a sci-fi film, a sci-fi horror film, gothic horror, they call it, in those times in a lower budget, that's a big deal. I mean, the man got Aliens right after, which was a sequel, but he was able to do that with his team and everything and actually get that made. So that's a great, something to look at and learning experience. Also, stay tuned at the end of this video. I got a giveaway, just all in this whole Terminator thing. It's one of the Terminator films. It's one of the sequels, but it's a digital code giveaway. So stick around to find out which one it is, and we'll get right into that. The first thing here is, if you haven't been here before, please subscribe down below. I have a Patreon, but I don't do Patreon. I don't publicize Patreon. That's going through refurbishments on what I'm planning to do with that, and that's going to be probably geared more towards my personal channel, and talking about, trying to get like personal films out there. I have my documentary coming out very soon, within early of this year, working through the end of the final cut of it and doing 3D rendered scene, recreating a scene that was done in a Q&A part of the film. So, I'm working on that. So there's some things coming out very soon. So I'm gearing that towards that. So Greenlight will have nothing to do with the Patreon. The Patreon account is going to be separate on just project to project. So all Greenlight, everything here, subscribe, because that's what helps me out. Like the video, that really is what keeps this going, so we can carry on a conversation about movie Blu-rays and their special features, because their special features could be just like going to film school in so many ways. When I went to Los Angeles Film School, a lot of times for them to make a point of what topic they're talking about within filmmaking, they show like a documentary of a major film and them using a certain technique on set. So that's always great. It's always great to, have on your head. This is not a industry that you get a good idea of what is, what's to expect industry-wise and behind the scenes. There's a lot of things that are change around depending on the project. Every project's different. There's no project that's one and the same within this. So it's good to have a broad spectrum and a broad idea of what it is to make, any film in any genre. So it's really jumping from genre to genre. You kind of see a different take on filmmaking, and filmmaking happens in many different ways. So it's very organic in that sense. My son's screaming out, I got Oreos. Or I'm hoping he's talking about Cheerios, but I'll find out later. Kudos to my wife. She doesn't feel very well, but she's being very nice. And she's like, no, I want you to do your show without him screaming at you in the background. Okay? So first things first, let's get rid of this. It's Terminator Dark Fate. But as you can see, I have a new background. Let me know in the comments below if you like this and this is pleasing to the eye. I showed it to my wife. She thought it was pretty clever, something interesting, something a little different instead of just a black screen. Trying to take it up a notch on quality in some sense here as we talk about educational stuff with filmmaking. So right off the bat, this is a great cover for a 4K cover, and I'll get into the steelbook case that Best Buy is gonna have, because the steelbook case is pretty awesome. So we got a back end for a lot of films here, real quick. So we're gonna get right into them. So this is the back end right here of Terminator Dark Fate. I'm very excited about this. Really want to see the dynamic of Tim Miller and James Cameron. Kind of want to see if they're just going to do only Q&As with everybody separately and talk about the film, or they're going to be in the same room talking about the film, or, on set, and see their dynamic of, story changes. There was discrepancies between them two on where to take certain parts of the story. So, I'm glad they're very passionate about that. That shows that they put their heart and soul into this film. And it did show. I mean, it's a quite different type of Terminator. It's taking it into a different type of direction. But it has like kind of an echo through time. I'm just gonna kind of give that out. And it looks like you can kind of echo this in many different ways with the characters and stuff like that, and having this continue. So not to give anything away, please check this out. I'm a huge fan of Terminator. I believe this can continue, and if they were to do a sequel from this point, I believe they'll be off on the right track. And I think a lot of filmmakers felt that way, I would hope, and a lot of fans of this series felt the same way. They felt the same way actually about Terminator Genesis, and so did I in a sense. but them kind of restarting, the whole timeline kind of thing is still prevalent in this film as well. So it's all within one and the same. But that one really took, forth effort in trying to change the first film, which in the first two films. So, it's kind of tough, like seeing that just, but this pays respects to the first two films, and it continues the ride and continues everything. So, let me know down below what you think about this film, because it's a very controversial. Out of a lot of these franchise films, this is one of the controversial ones. So, diving into the special features, there's deleted and extended scenes, which is great for writers. So you watch the film and see how every scene is put and played out, and then you look at these deleted scenes and extended scenes, and you see where the script is, and the full-on script. And I'm sure you can download it online as well. So check that out online. You're probably going to find that on Google and find a completed screenplay for this. And it could be the theatrical one, or it's going to be, the first or the cut, the production cut that they used. So let me know in the comments below if you check that out. There's an in-depth behind-the-scenes featurettes. So I already can see that this is going to be a play-all option here. So it's going to be a bunch of videos broken up, probably like 10 to 15 minutes. Could even be less than that. But when you play all of it, it's probably going to be a good 30, 40 minute, it could be even like almost to an hour type thing. And then they have a separate, it looks like a documentary over an hour of bonus features. A bonus content here. It just this is a little misleading in that sense that they could be pertaining to the in-depth behind the scenes play all type option here with the featurettes, the mini featurettes. But the mini featurettes could be separate. Usually it is of this, since they're saying bonus content, and they're trying to purposely change up the names from featurettes. Like one featurette would be like one documentary of the behind the scenes, and it would be like an hour or two. And then this is it's kind of separating that fact. So there could be an hour 20 minute, hour 30 minute documentary on the making of this film, and they're really going to get into what it means for everybody to be back onto this film, having Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, and James Cameron all on set together, which is what I'm expecting to see, because I don't believe I heard that James Cameron was actually on set for this film. So he was probably working on Avatar, which is his major baby. Not to say that he cares any less about this film, which he does. He still has like reserves about how the ending of this film worked out. So let me know down below in the comments down below if you enjoyed this film, and you're looking forward to the special features and learning how they put everything together and how they work together. That's a major part of filmmaking, is who you work with. A lot of times you can work with your friends. Sometimes that doesn't quite work out. It is how it is sometimes, and it just depends on the project. Each project, like I said, it's different. Certain projects people are more passionate about than others, so always expect that. So this is the steel bookcase here, and this looks pretty epic here with the combination of the T-1000 from the second film type of thing going on here. They had this essence happen in Terminator Genesis, but the skin comes off, but it operates on its own merit, and that's huge. Now you got two robots now coming at you, so you get the benefits of both worlds in this film, and I love the dynamic. I even like how they come in from time travel. I'm gonna put that out there. A lot of the bubble time travel with them coming through hasn't been this organic and this forcible within the timelines, with it getting cold and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. Not to give too many things away, obviously. But moving on here, we're going to go on to our next film, and we're going to get through these fairly quickly. A lot of these don't have like a lot of special features like that to check out, but this next film is really, really worth even the purchase. These are one of those rare like indie films. Excuse me, sorry. These are the rare indie films that basically kind of challenge the mind, and it's something that it should be quite worth it to check out. I've only seen the trailer of this film and heard through filmmaker friends and people online, and have read reviews and stuff like that. People are really, really highly into this film, and this is looking like, and I mean, it's got a Palme d'Or from Cannes, so that's a major plus. This is a Universal releasing, fresh from Rotten Tomatoes. There's one bonus feature here, but I do want to point it out and make it prevalent when it comes to like independent films and character-based dramas like this. Sometimes they don't get the luxury to have a documentarian on set. Somebody that could a documentarian will like take note of how the certain effects were made, or working with the actors and stuff like that, and how that was put together. I'm going to zoom in here real quick because there's a Q&A with director Bong Joon-ho. Let me know if I butchered that online, and I will make fourth effort and try to pronounce these names a little bit better. So at least like with the Spanish names, I can do that very well. So this Q&A here. So this Q&A, I would expect him either it's going to be translated or unless he translates it himself, it's going to be highly, big with like a lot of information, things that, they usually don't even come up in making of sometimes. Q&As, they'll talk about something that's, prevalent to the director on set, and that, was either a challenge, working out certain scenes. You either had to push certain actors so certain things could come out, and how to work with actors and how to get those scenes out. Because a lot of times, like, it's within these talks in these Q&As, even these Q&As with the whole cast and crew, a lot of that comes out. So you'll be able to hear, things of what, how hard it was to work out certain scenes, and how they should, like, it was written in the script a certain way, but they had to block it a different way because of, their environment on set. Maybe the set is a little different than how it was written on script form. So that's a major thing to always be aware of when you're writing a screenplay. It's not going to play out exactly. So as a director, you got to make sure you're blocking the scene correctly, and the dynamic of the the whole story. So it has a flow to it. So, if somebody is, looking like they need to be towering over somebody else, maybe you have them up the stairs and not, down the stairs, Wow, the air conditioning kicked on. You could hear it quite perfect in the microphone there. So we have our next film as well, and it's a Western. It looks very, very well done. Looking to check this out very soon myself. It's called Harriet. So Harriet here also has special features as well. This is also Universal releasing. I like films like this, like Westerns and stuff like that are really cool. It's kind of like an old school approach. These are, period pieces, and period pieces are great. Learning how to juggle the period and your storyline and everything like that, and working with actors. It's more on the drama side, so this is great again for working with actors and learning how to work with actors, and how you can bring out certain scenes and things like that. Ooh, I think I zoomed in too quickly. Let me show the whole thing here. Got a little overzealous there. Got a little excited on that one. Let's bring it out so you can see that. This film looks really, really good. This lady's having quite a career on her hands right now. She's in The Outsider. The main character here, the main actress in here. She's in The Outsiders. I think it's The Outsiders or something like that. With it's like a Stephen King series on HBO right now. Me and my wife are checking out, and then she's like, I believe she was in damn, I'm trying to remember the name of that movie. Wow, I saw it recently on HBO too. Wow, and I hadn't seen it when it came out. It's like the Royale. It's got a long name, and then it's basically it's got like a bunch of stories happening at the same time in this motel. And it's very, very interesting. The guy who did the film created Cabin Under the Woods, Drew Goddard. He also is a part of the J.J. Abrams Lost, and I believe he did, what was it, Lost, and he worked on Alias as well, and Cloverfield actually too. So that's something that she's been working on, like that she worked on recently. There's a lot of things that she's doing, and like she's coming out with some great work back to back. So, this film is phenomenal on that alone, just on her work, because she's actually like shocking me on like she just came out of nowhere, and now she's this big actress now, even if she doesn't see herself that way just yet. But she's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. I doubt she's nominated at all right now for anything in the Academy Awards, but like within the next year or so, that could definitely happen. Like within a couple of years, depending on her next film. Her name is Cynthia Erivo, I think. Well, there's deleted scenes here. Going on to the special features real quick. Hold on one sec. Well, I didn't take an account of my sister's dog as well, needing to come in and howl and scream. He does that when he needs to come in. That's his way of talking. So I guess that's time for me to move on. And so into the bonus features, there's deleted scenes, and obviously that's always good for screenwriters to see where certain scenes will end up getting cut out anyways. Usually because of fluidity and stuff like that. Sometimes it's hard to tell in a screenplay, but when it's acted out with the actors and everything like that, you see a different way of taking the scene. Maybe you do a couple less lines than you needed to, just because the actor basically showing in emotion that line without actually giving that line in the screenplay. So that works out really good there, and then that's good to check out with the deleted scenes. And then her story, which is Harriet's story. And then, so that's definitely going to talk about the screenplay and the storyline and the meaning of Harriet through history as well. And then becoming Harriet. So this is great for actors and directors. Again, these are the type of documentaries that are more geared towards acting and the actors portraying real public figures and stuff like that, and doing biopics, and how they get into somebody's skin, which is great, to learn for actors, but it's also something great for directors to check out as well, because then you will know how to communicate with your actor and what they're looking for and what they're expecting, from their director, and especially respect in them diving into a character that is not easy to dive into. When it becomes real characters, it's hard because you're portraying somebody real that's out there that was living. So that's tough to do. And then there's a feature commentary. And like I said about feature commentaries, this is perfect for any writer, directors, anybody on the crew too. So you get an idea, especially when it comes to getting commentary from the whole full crew. A lot of times it's just going to be the writers and the directors doing a full commentary on the film. But it's you get great tidbits in there that usually get lost, that a lot of people don't check out. So definitely look into that, and let me know what you guys think about this film as well, while we move on to our next film here. I'll let you marinate on the bonus features of Harriet. And now I have my next film ready. It's an Edward Norton film. I believe he directed this film. It's called Motherless Brooklyn. It's like a film noir, and he's got an interesting character. From what I saw in the trailers, it reminded me of the movie Score. If you ever seen the movie Score, it's a Frank Oz directed film with a lot of major players. So you got the Godfather himself in that role in there, in the Score with Robert De Niro and Edward Norton. So just moving on, because in this film we have Willem Dafoe, we have Bruce Willis, and we got many people like Alec Baldwin, and Edward Norton is directing this for the first time. I believe this is his first feature film. Okay, let me show you the back end here. And it's gotten great reviews. I mean, Edward Norton's kind of doing his thing from the Score type of thing, where he's got like a personal medical. He's kind of got like Tourette's, I would say. I believe. I could be saying that's wrong. That could be definitely wrong. So excuse me for that. We're gonna zoom in to the special features now, and quickly here with making of Edward Norton's methodical process, a behind-the-scenes look at how the writer, director, producer, star brought the prize-winning novel to life. So this is a novel that had it's a film noir, so that he had taken over and directed. I mean, it's gotten a lot of people buzzing about it. There was a lot of people talking about this film. So, it's something I wanted to check out into film noirs. And anybody into film in general usually is into film noir. Film noir and like westerns, because it's like the oldest sense of filmmaking in a way. It's that old classic stories that you see Hollywood make a lot. So that's the sense of it. So with that being said, I believe this is definitely, because it's Warner Brothers releasing. So I'm thinking this is going to be like, it could be, 40 minutes to an hour or even longer documentary. It's making of, and when they give a lot of details within the making of like that, usually it's a long documentary. I'm not expecting it to be, longer than the Terminator one, because usually franchise films that make a little more money usually have more of a post-production marketing house that can just knock out edits, like there's no tomorrow, and give us a bunch of behind the scenes stuff as well. So this is a whole production team within their production team of the film alone, doing this most likely with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers doing, taking interviews and stuff. And it's all because of its high praise in with reviews and in film festivals and everything like that. So they're able to, do a making of quite like this. And with the Academy Awards looming around very soon, and the Golden Globes just passing by us right now, there's, a lot of these dramas, they get behind the scenes work with them, which is great. All right, so please check this out. Let me know if you checked out the film Motherless Brooklyn in the comments below. Even in the live chats, I usually give shout outs at the end of this. I try to work them in here and there. Again, this show is for you guys, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you know more about this, so we can interact about filmmaking. So jumping ahead here to our next film, this has Megan Fox in it, which is kind of a strange film for her to be in. It's called Battle of Jangsari, The Forgotten Heroes. So I believe this is a World War II drama, and it's kind of like a low-budget film here. So this is good to check out. They do have a making of, which is like really strange for films like this, very low budget, and it looks like Warner Brothers is helping get the Blu-ray out, or I believe they just got the film out in general to the wide public. So jumping ahead to the back of this Blu-ray real quick is the making of here, and the making of could be like 15 to 20 minutes. It depends. It could even be a 30-minute making of. They even have trailers as well. This is going to be good for any filmmaker to see how, I'd love to check this out just to find out more about, their budget, and find out more about this film. This film looks like they probably had budget restrictions, so that's something that's, that you can learn from big time when it comes to, independent filmmaking and filmmaking in general. Just seeing what it is to do a smaller budget and make it look big. So that's always something to check out. So this is the back end there. And we're going to jump in to our next film here, which is a documentary. A lot of these last films now don't have back ends. So there's no behind the scenes that I'm aware of or anything like that. But let me know in the comments below if you do find them. And if you do, please take a picture, send it to me on Instagram, and let's have a conversation about it. I'll bring it up in the next episode just to talk about it, talk about the making of the film as well. So this one's really cool. So this is Making Apes, the artist who changed film. So back in I believe in the 1960s or late 1950s, I think it's early 1960s, it's definitely early 1960s, the first Planet of the Apes film came out and shocked the world and changed the world with the post-apocalyptic look on our world, and the apes taking over and all this stuff. So this is, for sci-fi films, that was a huge deal, and makeup effects and all that. So they even had animatronics on set as well, doing their mouths at times and stuff like that, little animatronic things that they've made for their faces. So it's really cool. This is a great documentary. It's being released by Gravitas Ventures. I've mentioned them before. They work fairly good with independent filmmakers, but I still have my reserves when it comes to releasing them to any independent film of yours to a third-party distribution company. So, have your reserves as well for that and do your research. But getting in on this film, this is a great tidbit, great documentary to check out for any filmmaker wanting to learn behind the scenes about making any film. These type of things are great. There was another one just like this that had come out recently about the making of Aliens. Alien, actually, the first Alien with Ridley Scott. So check that out. And it was talking about H.R. Giger and his work on that. But here, it looks like it's going to be about the prosthetics and the change of film forever, because these are like groundbreaking for filmmaking. A lot of these films that people aren't even aware of, that actually are groundbreaking, that got us to this point in time where we have fantasy films left and right, and sci-fi films left and right that we can do. And it's not just because of CGI. It's because of storytelling and filmmaking like this, and having restrictions at their time, so they're able to tell certain stories that obviously now we're able to tell so many stories that it's hard to pinpoint what's the right one to tell, or how to tell it in the correct manner. So let me know in the comments below if you check this documentary out, so we can talk more about this. And my next film here, it goes on to something I have quite passion for, quite fascination for, actually. That's what I actually meant to say, quite fascination for when it comes to the Hollywood and filmmaking world, is with this film here, Miss Purple. And shout outs to Justin Chon. I saw him in an interview with IMDb talking about his film. This is like very well shot. It's a drama. It's all in English as well. So it's not like Parasite. Parasite most likely is going to be all subtitled. This is going to be in English. It takes place in Los Angeles. Justin Chon is I believe, I think he's American born, but this is an American film. So I know I've seen him before in this movie called 21 and Over, and he's an actor. So I really believe in the fact of, these actors now like going in, breaking into the industry, and then making their own feature films is amazing. It's another gateway into getting into feature films. I wish I had I'm just going to say the balls and the wherewithal to want to, be able to act and be in front of camera. That's a whole another dynamic. Even doing this for me is, out of the norm. A lot of times filmmakers just want to they just want to hide behind the camera and hide behind the computers where they're editing their films and stuff like that. And they're just always in their own heads. A lot of times I could be in my own head as well. But I work very hard not to do so I can interact with people in the world, especially be with my family and my wife and child, and interact with them and grow with them and watch them grow as well. That's great for filmmakers, great for artists to see and have that influence in their life, and be able to express that in their artwork. So this is going on with that. It's all for Miss Purple, a film that I actually want to check out very soon. Saw the trailer to it recently and wasn't even much aware about it. Another reason why I do this as well, I also do this for myself, so I could find out more about new films and stuff. So on to our last film here, which is a documentary. I believe it takes place in Iran or Iraq or something like that. But basically Midnight Traveler is about, it's a documentary that's all shot on cell phones, actually. So they were all shot on their cell phones. Okay, when the Taliban puts a bounty on Hassan Vazili's head, he is forced to flee with his wife and 2 daughters. Capturing the journey, Fazil shows the dangers facing refugees seeking asylum and the love shared between a family on the run. So this is definitely one to check out, especially for filmmakers that want to broaden their mind a little bit and get a different sense of how to make a feature film in general, even a documentary. So this is a different kind of take, and it looks very strong in the trailer. and it moved me. So I'm very excited to check this out for myself. Let me know in the comments below if you have. All right. So now we're gonna just jump in real quick and do this quick giveaway. This quick giveaway here. So from what I have here is Terminator Salvation. Maybe not so much the favorite one of all of them. Hi, Logan. Hi, Logan. I love you, baby. We're towards the end of this already. So this Terminator Salvation, I still had this digital code lying around, so I wanted to, give this away, and just out of happiness that this film was really good. I really enjoyed it, even though I saw it so late. I made a point of trying to see it last night with me and my wife loved it. She really was really shocked on how they pushed the limits and actually created a great story. She hasn't seen, I don't believe she's seen Salvation or any of the other sequels. She's just seen the first two. I had her see the first two, and then this one as well, because we were preparing for this one when I heard about it a year ago. So let me know in the comments below if you like any of these films and you're going to check out these films. With that, add in your Instagram account, and then you'll be eligible to win this giveaway right here. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this episode. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, so you can be entered into this contest. Is just the comments. So whatever you comment and plus your Instagram account is entering into this contest, into this giveaway of Terminator Salvation. So let me know in the comments below how excited you are about the giveaway and any of these films coming out today, and I'll see you here next week.